Sorry, just taking a brief pause. Okay. Next up is Melanie. Is Melanie here?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, Pat, sorry.
Pass, no worries.
he's working.
Not a biggie.
She's working.
This is very chill.
That's
Chill
a lie.
event here.
That's all.
That's the lie. Is the chill event. Okay, next up is Snay here.
There she is.
I'm here, but I'm not here.
Okay. So is that a pass, Snay?
I have a secret to share.
Okay.
Oh,
Tell us your secrets.
Yeah.
my God.
I don't want to know.
The past couple of years I had been sick and then missing my family. And I guess you guys were my biggest support. And I didn't even share this with Mel yet. In June, I'm migrating to Australia.
Oh.
Oh,
No.
That's a lie. My sister's gonna be here
She's migrating.
Saturday and she'll pick you up. No, we're going through some paperwork.
So this is a big one. So
I'm off next week, so we have to. I know Mel's not gonna be great.
well, does anyone have any questions about this shocking revelation?
I'm just going to flat out call her a
It
liar.
was great to work
Yeah,
with
we
you,
know.
Snake.
Liar.
Yeah.
This guy's on fire.
Can you work from Australia?
Lee, do you believe me, right?
No.
So I'm taking it that's a lie. I'm hoping that's a lie.
It's a lie, right? No, it's not a lie.
Well, Alice, I'm gonna call.
What's funny is in June when she really does move to Australia.
Mel answered for me. You guys are my family.
Lisa's gonna have words with you.
Please confirm or deny. This was
I was
a lie,
gonna say I was
right?
trying to look at Lisa and Sherry to see if because I would think she would talk to them about that first.
It's a lie.
I say that's a hell of a way to find out. All right, next up is me.
Ooh.
Okay, we're ready. Okay, so probably most of the people here, well, I haven't told this to anybody here, but like most of the people here in the Salt Lake office, they know that the movie Footloose was filmed here in Utah.
Oh.
So, and it came out the year that I was born. And my mom, she was a huge Footloose fan when it came out, and that's actually where she got the idea to name me Kevin after Kevin Bacon.
Let's see. So that's your story.
What year was that?
That's my story. 1984.
Okay.
Is Bacon your middle name?
Bacon's not my middle name, but it was kind of a quasi nickname that I had in high school.
He likes bacon.
Ah.
Man.
Do you have the same moves as Kevin Bacon?
Absolutely. Better.
You guys should see the Christmas party videos.
Oh man, that was
I
awesome.
punch dance out my rage regularly.
Oh man,
Any other questions?
that was a rough one.
I'm going with true on this.
I'm calling a lie.
Yeah,
Lie
yeah,
on your body language.
Okay.
lie.
It is a lie. As far as I know, I'm not named after everybody. My parents just like the name. So there you go. Not named after Kevin Bacon. But Bacon was kind of a quasi nickname of mine in high school. That is true. Okay, next. Kim.
All right. I am, and I have been for a while, working on a self-help book. Yes.
Okay.
What kind of
So,
self-help?
Just, breaking normal from the regular way that we do things. It's been a while since I've been working on it, but I haven't had so much of time to get down to finishing it. But I think in maybe 2 or 3 years, I should be able to.
okay. How long have you been working on it?
It's It's been what, 3 years now?
3 years?
So just whenever I get the time, whenever it is at night or when everything's quiet and everyone's asleep, I'll go back to chapters. It's because I feel that sometimes I have doubts on certain things that I do, and it'll probably help my confidence, the way I approach things.
Okay.
And the way I have like an outlook on things, like I tell people I'm afraid of going on the freeway, maybe.
Yeah. So you're kind of
just
using it
change
as
that
like a
vision.
self-medicated.
Are you writing it or reading it?
Writing it. Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
But I do read a lot of self-help, motivational books. I follow a lot of authors, and I'm like, maybe I could write something.
What is your subject of your first chapter?
The subject of my first. I haven't named the chapters.
Okay.
No, not.
You
named
haven't
them.
named it, but what's the
No,
subject?
because
of it?
I will keep moving things
It's
around, and it's also kind of like a personal journal.
Uh-huh.
The day when something doesn't go well, I can go back and log something, and I do a couple of vlogs as well. Video logging. I don't have a blog, but I do.
Do the video blog kind
Just
of
a
thing.
video, yeah. So
Okay.
I go back and just read it, and I'm like, I wonder what happened that day that made me feel that way. Good days, bad days. And it's kind of a self-help for me as well.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Have you looked into getting it published?
I will be. I have to look for an editor and then all of that stuff. So, and then like I was telling Lisa today, sometimes when I say things, the words are English, but then the grammar is not correct or the words are not correct. So then I will need help in all of that, the editing and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
She uses the English version rather than the American version of things like lift instead of elevator.
And so my daughter,
I see.
my 4-year-old corrects me. She'll be like, "What? That just doesn't sound right," And I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute."
So what do you guys
Okay.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's the
Lisa
consensus?
had a good question. I felt like you stumbled a little bit, but I think you're telling
I
the
do
truth.
stumble when I
Truth,
talk.
yeah.
I do stumble.
You guys think she's
Stumble.
telling the truth?
I'm gonna say true on this one.
Me too.
True, or she's a really good liar.
Who said false?
Haley,
Anthony thinks
Oh,
you're lying. I think you're
and I
lying.
think you're lying too.
Oh, you think
And
I'm
Kayana thinks you're lying. What's
Yeah.
the consent? What's the facts?
I'm lying.
She's lying.
Oh
She's a
man.
It's a
liar.
good one though, Kim.
No, I have to think that's
Me and Kim are going to Wendover to play some poker. You got that good poker.
Okay.
face.
Everybody on that, Kim.
Yeah, I know. Anthony knows me too well. Yeah.
So the last person, and we'll kind of go back to if anybody wants to, is our fearless leader, Lisa. What is your
Well,
story?
funny that you should say fearless. I spent the majority of my childhood, we moved around a lot, but the house that we lived in the longest was in Ogden. And it was an older house, and we had been living there for about 5 or 6 years when this 90-year-old man came and told us his parents had built the house. And he'd lived there his whole life, and his parents had died in the house. And they were very anti-Mormon, and my family was Mormon. But it kind of clicked and made sense at that point because the house was haunted. And we had several visits from the ghost that I eventually named Rodney. And it was an interesting place to live, but fun, but it was never boring.
Okay. So Rodney, the not so friendly
From the
ghost.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Any questions?
You named him Rodney?
I did, I named him Rodney.
What kind of experiences like that you do or visits?
So the door would open and close by itself, especially the kitchen door. And it was these big heavy wooden doors with the old-fashioned latches. And you would put a cap on the kitchen counter and it would go all the way down the counter by itself. It was back in the days before digital radio. And so everything had the turn dial and radio stations would jump all over the place. And my mom swears that she saw an arm came out from behind the towel rack in the bathroom one day.
An
Okay.
arm.
An arm, just a Barney arm.
He does like skin.
Any other questions?
like scaring me.
And li-
It's called Lisa's Life in Ogden in the Hood.
Okay.
Which, by the way, Ogden was the highest murder rate per capita in the state of Utah while I was growing up there. And I lived in a very scary part of the hood. So
How long did you live in the house?
we lived in the house from the time I was almost 8 until I was 17. So almost 10 years.
And everyone was comfortable living in that kind of situation?
My brother and I were there the
And
longest.
both parents know?
Well, what?
Did everyone in the house know about Rodney, or was it just you?
No, everybody knew. But my younger brother and I were the ones that lived there the longest because by the time we moved into the house, most of the older kids, they were 16, 15, and 14, and they were gone out of the house within 3 to 4 years. So it was just my younger brother and I that lived there for the full time.
Okay. So I think that's the question cap here. What do we think?
I think she's true thing.
I'm gonna go true
Yeah,
on
I
this
think
one.
it's true.
True.
She's not lying. She didn't make it up.
Anyone else in Houseman?
It's a lie? Might be a lie. No, true. I think it's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is true.
It's true.
It's just the ages. It's kind of like.
Rodney was non-threatening, but he was there. He was a presence in the house. It was pretty awesome.
Is the house still there?
It is still there.
Oh, wow.
The house is still there.
Someone's
Yep.
living.
Our next team meeting will be at the house.
I'm not coming.
Get
That'll
on
be
the
If you want to go on a field trip to Ogden,
I'm good.
Curtis, there's something wrong with that.
That's what you paid for it, right?
That's why.
Okay. So I'm just gonna go back to the Sherry. Did you want to go? Are you still passing?
Gosh, I can't really think too much thinking. Okay, this is probably something you find hard to believe about me, because, I don't know. I actually coached soccer once.
Oh, oh, oh.
One time.
One time.
Yeah,
Okay. Any questions about Sherry
Cohen
coaching?
or what?
I'm so athletic, you know.
Did you know any of the players?
Yes, all 13 of them.
A whole season or a game?
Whole season.
That was a dumb question.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, it was-
Some of the players. she just
Yeah, I was
volunteers
gonna be
for.
like,
year was it?
Yeah, which son?
She's counting.
Right, she has boys. Yeah, which son?
97.
97.
97, 98.
It's about 10 years ago.
Your friends are
No, that ain't
20 years
right.
ago.
20.
Yeah.
So her sons would have been
It's true.
Like
soccer
little
big
kids.
in California. I'm gonna say true.
It's true.
So consensus here is true. We're thinking she coached
I'm gonna say lie.
her sons.
I think I'm going to say false.
I'm gonna say lie.
Me too, false.
It's true.
Oh!
I coached 13 little 6-year-old boys.
Oh my.
Yeah, for soccer.
And you lived to tell.
I did. It was insane. It was insane, but
Coach Sherry.
Slices.
Oh, if we need a soccer coach.
Oh, Sherry.
Yeah, you'll have to teach Isaac a thing or two
Well.
about soccer.